Welcome to the Dudley farm.
Thank you. So is this your farm, or what is the history of this farm?
This used to belong to the Dudley family. In about 1991, the last descendant of the Dudley family passed away. And through the North Guilford Fire Company, we ended up with this property and decided to start a foundation which has the museum. And we have also the Dawnland Native American Museum down in the other barn. We have a barn for events, and we try to have events and farm markets here throughout the year.
Ah, is this your only location, or you have it elsewhere too?
We do have property on Hoop Hole Road that is not directly involved with what we do here. So this is our only location. It's about 10 acres, right at the corner of 77 and 80 in North Guilford.
Wonderful.
You have one more opening next week, and that's the last for the season? Is that next
That's
week?
the last farm market until the first 2 Saturdays in December. Those 2 Saturdays we'll have a farm market which will be Christmas and craft oriented, and it will be held down in the yellow barn, the Munger barn.
Yeah, we'll film that and put that on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
That'll be, I think it's the 7th and 14th or something close to that.
It's amazing how this has transformed from an old farm to basically a meeting point every Saturday now. That's how many years have you been doing that? It's been quite a while.
Well, it started about 1991, but we're building on it now. Our next big project is to do a lot of work on the barn directly behind you.
I see.
It needs quite a bit of structural work.
Okay.
We have some structural issues to deal with in the house also. I've got to
We're
pay
taking a
attention a
popcorn
little.
now. This is great.
This popcorn is
Popcorn
fantastic.
from the cob, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, let's take a look.
It does get hot in there.
If you don't pay attention to it, it will start to burn.
Yeah.
And it will actually set the bag on fire.
Oh,
And
I think I've done that.
that's not good.
And this is popping corn right from the corn husk, right from the corn cob. Yeah.
Now the finished product comes out.
Oh, that looks good. Smells good too. Look how much popcorn.
Okay, well, there's more in the bag. The bag will go with you.
Okay, that's fine.
Beautiful.
I'm sure they'll enjoy it all.
Like butter or salt, we have it
All
here.
right. You guys want to
Now, I just threw the cob away, but there are a few kernels on the cob that don't pop. Those are called old maids or spinsters. And they tend to be
Could you save those for me, Buster? I'll be back and pick them up later.
Okay, well, yeah, we can hang on to them. But the reason and butter and salt are here.
We got a little salt.
Okay.
We're going in Nana's car, so no butter.
Okay.
All right, kids, you're going to eat well today. I'll tell you.
They are.
Very nice.
Popcorn is actually a good healthy snack until you go loading it up with salt and
I
butter.
hear that. Yeah, that's actually
Only 30
Quite a bit of
calories.
fiber in it, so you actually, if you eat a bit of it, you feel full and you may be less inclined to
hey, low calorie too.
30
It is.
calories per cup.
It is. The reason it popped is there's a little bit of moisture in the kernel, and when you heat it up, it converts to steam, and that causes the kernel to explode.
Yeah, nice.
Very nice.
Thank you
Okay,
very
well,
much.
thank you.
As you
See ya.
can see, they're enjoying it.
Have a fun day, kids. Enjoy life here.
Thank you.
Bye, kids. Bye.
Bye.
He's the one that moves around a lot, so here we go.
I'm a
Girls.
spaz.
This is the Dudley Farm String Band coming to you.
Get down, girls, go back home, back to the girl you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can love. I did the night in the high, going on the trail your love will find. boys, go back home, back to the girl you love. Treat her right, never wrong. How mountain girls can.
There you go.
Click.
That's good. Could you do one more? You love this music.
Hit it.
Well, I'm heading down south to the land of the pines. On my way down North Carolina, I'm staring at the road, ready God, I see headlights. Headed down the coast for 17 hours. Make me a book and a dog of flowers. And I'm hoping for Raleigh, I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, and the way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Woo. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Woo. Running from the cold, got a blue wing when I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. The lady plays guitar, I play the banjo now. Your country business keep getting to me. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to run away. But I hate to go back now, in that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, and the way you feel. Mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like a wind and rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Mama, rock me. Walking to the south, out of Roanoke, called a trucker out of Philly, had an ice cold coat. He's heading west for Cumberland Gap, Johnson City, Tennessee. I gotta get a move on and pray that the sun when I hear my baby calling to me. I'm she's the only woman. If I die without it, at least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, and the way you feel. Mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Bring it home now.
That's great.
Like, he grew up with him, and they respect his voice, but it is very much a sound that they know. And I suppose any one of you could come in here and, you know, with some authority, I guess is the word. You know, when I want their attention, I kind of go into a different voice, but they understand.
Do you know how to take a picture on there? I know you got the fancy equipment.
Do I know how?
Bob is sometimes not as predictable, but he's pretty calm right now.
We're from the local public access.
Yeah,
We're filming.
sure.
It's going to be on Guilford TV, just
Very
to let
good.
you know what's
Yep.
going on.
You want me to, yeah?
Let me get his name.
The other thing that we do with them is we make them lift their feet. They have to be able to stand on 3 legs, because if they have a sore foot, which, you know, it's like not only having 3 good tires on your car, you know. If they have a bad leg, they're not going anywhere. So you have to take care of their feet and make sure they're clean. So when they're young and their calves, that's the other thing we do. We make them, you know, shift their weight and pick their foot up. I'm not going to do it today. We usually tie them up when we do that. But that's another really important thing, because how else would you be able to pick up his foot if you didn't want to pick it up when he weighs a ton? Sure. You know?
Literally.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. So
You described that in response to this question. Have you ever been harmed? Is that?
oh, I was gonna, yeah, leading up to stepping on your foot is about the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, and they don't mean to do it, particularly in the summer. Right now, they've had fly spray on them. I worked them 3 or 4 days this week, and I put fly spray on them every day. And you know, the flies right now aren't even really biting, but in the summer, when the flies are biting, he might try to whirl around to you know, smack a fly with his
Dangerous.
tongue, and
Oh boy.
you know, that's when you're gonna. I've been bumped in the head, but
Wow.
nothing really yet. Knock on wood.
And what kind of animals are these?
These are they're 3.5-year-old team of oxen that we trained here at the farm, and Dave, the off ox, is a full-blooded brown Swiss.
This is Dave here.
That's Dave.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
And this is Bob, who
responds
is
to his name.
half Jersey and half Swiss.
There's
That's why he's
Bob.
a little smaller, but they're almost exactly the same age to within about a week. If you're going to train a team of oxen, you start by lining up some calves. And when that's the first yoke that they're in at 3 or 4 weeks. And 15 or 20 minutes a day for the first year, every single day, they have to be worked with. It's strictly repetitious. The way you train cows, bovine, oxen are simply by repetition every day. There's 3 or 4 basic commands that they have to know how to do. Of course, they have to know how to whoa or stop. They have to know how to back up, and they have to know how to turn right and left. And left to turn to me is ha, come ha, and to go right the opposite way is G. And I
It's
can
funny
do.
that they respond to the volume. Obviously, you have
Yeah.
a different voice now. You
Yes.
can say these words all you want, but as long as you keep it low, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, they know. Well,
Interesting.
they're standing now, and they
Yeah.
know they're supposed to be standing.
Yeah.
But when I change my tone and I tell them to get ready, we're going to do something, which we can do any minute here, anything, anytime you want.
Can
Yeah.
you possibly give us an example of them backing up?
Oh yeah, backing up is the thing that they like to do least, but we have to back up.
I
We
will
have
do
to
that.
back up from the fence anyway, so we'll do that first. Boys, pay attention. Dave, back up. Bobby, head up. Back up. Back. G around. G up. G. Right around. Good boy, Bobby. G up. Get up, Dave. Stay with me. Up. Head up. Get up. G. Get up. G. G around. G. G up. G.
He said that
Up from ha.
this fence
Dave.
is just a barrier which will stop them for a few minutes while we can run. But it doesn't really stop
Yeah,
them.
once it starts to break, it gives you an indication you probably shouldn't be there.
Right. So if they run,
Get up.
we run.
Get up.
Don't worry, the camera
Easy.
stays.
Ho. 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 Ho.
Very
That
nice.
is lovely.
Ho. Ho. Stand. Good boys. Back up. Back up a step, Dave. Stand. Good boys, stand.
So it takes a lot of
Stand.
energy
Got 2 tons running around there. It's
Stand.
wow.
to
Stand.
moving cars. Like a moving car.
We use them on the farm here.
So they're
Yeah.
working oxen.
They work. We
Oh.
don't take them off the farm. They don't go to fairs.
Yeah.
It's not my style of teamstership, I guess would be the word. They
Yeah.
work here as they would have 100 years ago. They pull logs out of the woods. They plow and harrow the heritage garden.
Great.
pull multifloral roses out of the pasture.
Oh.
Unfortunately, right now we don't have a real good selection of farm implements like carts and wagons to use, but we're working on that. Come on, Dave. Back up. Back up a step, Dave. Dave, back! Bobby, get your head up. Head up. Come on, Bobby, get your head up. Come on, get
You
your head up.
scolded him, so he's not going to put his head up.
Come on, get your head up. Head up. Keep your head up. Stand. Keep your head up. Stand. Pay attention. Yeah, be good. Pay attention. All right.
They like to be where the action is, obviously.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Well, safety glasses are a great idea, by the way.
Yeah, right.
I like when you wear those.
And what is
Yep.
what is your were you
I'm
did
sorry.
you go to school for this or were you trained for this?
No, I didn't grow up on a dairy farm, but I worked with dairy cows all through junior high school,
Can I pet
My uncle Vernon Dudley had a dairy farm, which I helped on, and I worked through high school on another dairy farm in Guilford.
So you grew up in Guilford, Mark?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're not living here now, but...
I am.
Oh, you are?
Downtown. We
Okay.
live downtown.
Oh, you do?
We live on
Okay,
Clapboard
yeah,
Hill.
fine. Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. So I grew up with dairy cows, and when I was about 30 years old, we had the opportunity. We had a nice, my wife's family had brown Swiss dairy cows, which he is a brown Swiss, and we had a real nice young bull calf. So we decided to match it up with another Holstein, and we had our first team of oxen probably back in the mid 80s.
Oh, neat.
And this is our third team. We've had 3 teams in succession. The last 2 teams that we've raised have lived here.
How long do oxen live? For about
They can live, their lifespan is about like a horse. They can live to be 12, 15 years old. And the last 2 teams, unfortunately, they both had to, we got rid of them when they both had Lyme disease, the last 2 teams, which is not uncommon anymore with cows.
Wow.
You had a question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Thanks, Mark.
We
Appreciate
have
it.
the thank you.
Where's the other?
That's a cool rooster, huh?
They're probably over there.
Yeah. Well, mommy has it back here.
Ah,
Tick, 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 tick.
Liliana.
Is
Let's
Steve
go
still
see if
taking
we
care
can
of
pet
you?
the turkey.
I don't know.
I don't
Oh,
think
there's
it
some
looks
turkey.
like that.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna come out when we start feeding the chickens.
Wait, did you see a turkey?
Comes out of the woods, that's funny. Okay, Jane, let's go. We need to get this done by the end of the day. Come on. Hey, come on, keep on it going. I see a little dust coming out there. We need more than that. Let's go. We pay by the hour, not by the job. Let's go. Come on now. This is Jane Romero cutting wood at the Dudley farm.
I think snakes pop out.
Trying to do her part to conserve something, but I'm not sure what it is. I know it might be saw blades she's trying to conserve. Yeah, that's it, for sure.
This is actually pretty easy.
Well, see, don't be talking that way. You're going to be a lumberjack before you know it.
I give up.
Okay.
I want to show how it
Hey, we're
starts.
in North Guilford at Dudley Farm with Devin Tishy, who's had grinding some corn, and Jane Romero, who's talking about it.
So the corn dry. They leave just the corn on the stalks in the field, and it dries. And they pick it from here, and then they put it in here to get the, what do you call that? Decob.
You can call it decobbing.
So what they do is they get this running up to speed really fast. This is pretty tough work. Then I can put it in here. And it stopped. But
Somebody has to keep it moving. Why don't you do it, Devin?
I got it.
Go ahead.
Yep.
That's the
Give it
idea.
a crank, Devin. Let's see what happens.
Comes up.
So you can make cornmeal or feed out of that pretty much, huh?
These are all
Yep.
dried.
Pretty neat.
This is wonderful. Well, thank you. And then where does it go to become ground into.
To become cornmeal, after
Cornmeal.
you would take it and you would feed it into over
Oh,
here.
cool. So the process goes
And this
into
would,
that, huh? That's so neat.
Grind it
Ground
right down.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Devin. That's interesting. Right now. Go ahead.
Hi, what's your name?
Judy Stone.
Judy Stone, and your name is?
Wendy Brown.
I'm James O'Mara from GCTV.
Hi.
Hi. So we're wondering, we just saw how corn is made, cornmeal is made. So you're taking the cornmeal, and what are you doing with it?
Well, making cornbread, and by the way, we're not using the farm cornbread, cornmeal.
Is that too rough, or would?
Well, there were some issues about storage, so we weren't sure about whether or not it was a really, clean product for cooking. And
the board of health may not.
yes,
Okay.
right. And we're actually not selling today, but these are ingredients that would have been grown on the farm in the late 1800s, which is the period of the farm. And so the two things that we're doing is we're doing black bean soup and we're doing cornbread, which would have been both recipes that were in the 1800s cookbooks.
Wow.
And quite honestly, they're very forgiving recipes because this is the first time that we have fired up this antique coal stove. And it is quite an adventure.
Oh, wow. So are you baking something now?
We are, and
You're talking about temperature fluctuations, be forgiving about those, I guess.
yes, that is right,
That's so
exactly. This is not a souffle.
Well, you have to be adept at knowing how much coal to put in to get the exact temperature you want. When the temperature is this outside, kind of warm, so there's a lot of variables.
There is, and what I found out is that it's actually hard to get a coal stove going when the temperature is warm.
When the temperature is warm.
So we are using a mixture of coal and wood.
I see,
today.
yeah. Interesting.
So at any rate, this is the black bean soup, which is probably ready now.
Okay.
And smelling good. And on the back of the stove, we have a pot of water to use for hand washing and cleanup.
Which is what they would have done then if you didn't have hot water in your kitchen. You would have kept hot water back there for cleaning, or maybe a cup of tea, something like that, some hot water. And it's not as hot back there. We're learning what's the hottest area of the stove and what's not so hot,
So this is these are the hottest.
Oh, yeah.
Very hot. Oh. And this is the oven, which has a thermostat on it, which appears to be working well.
Oh, interesting.
The stove we are estimating is probably an 1890 stove.
Oh, 1890.
And it seems to be in very good shape. So we are almost ready to. Now that we have to.
Oh,
open it
there
very,
is
very carefully.
magic in there. Oh,
Sweet.
how delicious looking. Oh.
Do we have toothpicks?
No, toothpicks. Did they have
They weren't
toothpicks?
invented yet.
Actually, I am thinking a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah,
But that's so that you can. And it smells wonderful.
it does. It does. Well, there you have it. Then you're going to butter it, and that's edible, but you're not selling it.
That's correct. We will get to the point where we figure out how to do that. But because this was an experiment, we didn't really want to assume that we could feed a crowd.
So did the Dudley farm just get that stove, or was it on the farm here, or?
It was acquired about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we've only recently done
Right,
piping,
new piping.
to get it
Get
going.
up this fire codes.
And the hope is at some point we will be able to move a lot of our storage things into the barn once it's restored. It has to be restored. So this is actually what we call the schoolhouse, and we hope to do some workshops and events for volunteers to get together and experiment with different things. So we have a list of interested people who would probably love to try this out. And we've also acknowledged Dale Woodhouse, who is a dealer of coal, of good anthracite coal in the
He
area.
donated the coal.
He donated
Thank
the
you,
coal.
Dale Woodhouse.
And so we're having fun.
There's a garbage can right right over there. Go throw it away.
It has tails too.
For the suitcase. Well, then you're not done. Drink it up.
I don't want to.
So you're done? Popcorn? Okay, well, no, there's still juice. Let me hold on. You can hold on.
Yeah, sure.
There you go. You want the bread? Bite?
No.
That's all right. If you want me to ask a couple of questions. So this is the Dudley Farm Treasures. And could you give me a little history on it, on the items you have for sale?
A lot of the items were found in the attic when we cleaned out the attic. When they cleaned out the Dudley Farm attic, a lot of this stuff was found in the attic.
Is it for sale now?
Yes, it's for sale, and all the donations and the money goes to the Dudley Farm.
Nice. What's your name?
Carol Ashman.
Ashman, okay, thanks.
Are you a volunteer here?
We volunteer. Yes, we do. Yep.
That's wonderful. So you have planers, tools.
Tools.
Oh, well,
This is a movie projector, film projector.
Wow.
Very old. It also
Very
has all the
old.
parts with the little wooden films
Amazing.
in there.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
We have some antique blankets, quilts. We have old envelopes to the Munger family and the Dudley family. We have some old glassware, tools,
Old
even have
newspapers.
old newspapers from the Kennedy assassination.
Really?
Yep.
Vintage linens.
Yep. We have some World War II items. This is a laundry carrier for the men. Quilts. That's a picture book for your photographs and frames.
Wow.
We
Amazing.
even have an old what they used to use for their laundry for wringing out the clothes. One side to the other. We have some toys.
All for sale. Wonderful.
Boxes. We have old chairs if you like to refinish furniture.
I saw those at the end. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Definitely some refinishing and new stuff.
The photograph is quite interesting too. That's amazing.
That's a Victrola.
Victrola, right.
It doesn't work. It's kind of in, disarray, but it's great for parts. Is that little carriage for sale? The one underneath the green? Yeah. No, that's not for sale. That belongs there. Right here. Yes. Yeah. Or it's shown here. Yep.
It's amazing how much. So this farm was full of
Most of this came from the attic. I don't really know what was in the barn. I'm sure there was lots of barn equipment. Mirrors from the dresser. Sold quite a bit so far today.
Have you? Good.
Which is good, yeah.
Wonderful.
Like this. That's nice.
Yep.
Good.
We're going to put this on local public access, channel 18, within the next week, maybe something like that.
Okay.
It's nice for everybody to see what goes on up here.
Right now, Antonia, how?
Yeah.
It's 3 for $10. So 3 bars of soap would equal the day.
6.
Hi.
Hello. So you're with Flatbrook Farm, handmade goat milk soap.
Yes, we are.
What's your name?
I'm Kim. This is my brother Tom.
Hi. Okay, I'm Jane, and this is Ron from GCTV, and we're just advertising everything at the Dudley Farm. So, who makes these soaps? Do you hand make these soaps?
Our parents actually hand make them. It's a family business.
Uh-huh.
I take care of the animals. My parents make the product, and we all sell it together. This is our week, so that's why we're here.
So you actually have goats on your property?
Yep, we do. All the pictures that you see and all the labels, all our signage, those are all goats that we own.
Oh,
They're all our
isn't this lovely?
pets. Lovely animals.
Very
Where's the
professionally done.
We're in East Hampton.
Okay.
East Hampton. Okay, Flatbrook Farm, East Hampton. Yeah, very nice. And they smell beautifully too.
Thank you.
Very nice. Do you have creams or just soaps?
Just soap.
Just soap?
Yep, we have soap, and we
We have a couple people in Connecticut who will make other handcrafted products for us. We have soap dishes, and we also have washcloths.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Lovely.
So what is this, Jane?
This is Thimble Reed's Bountiful Harvest Farm selling heirloom organic vegetable, herbs, flowers, free-range eggs.
What is this again, Jane?
That's my summer car.
This is Thimble Reed's Bountiful Harvest Farm, and they sell heirloom organic vegetable, herbs, flowers, and free-range eggs. They're in Guilford. Thimble Reed's in Guilford, and they have all sorts of beautiful little. What are these? What are these made of? Beeswax. Oh, they smell beautifully. They're rubbed with cinnamon, and this is an incredible stocking stuffer.
I see the beeswax candles and figurines.
Oh, how adorable.
All sorts of stuff.
They smell good. Oh, how cute is that? Yeah. And the bees like it too. They're just coming home.
It gives them something to do.
Yeah. Lovely. They're in Guilford, and
Those are baskets in?
Yes, they are.
Nice.
she has baskets here. Beautiful baskets. Do you make those?
I made them.
You made the basket?
Yeah, basket. I want this shit.
Well, that's more than we know.
Come this way so you can see her weaving really well.
Yeah, I'm actually,
Maybe
I'll just drape it over
Let
me.
me know when you're
I'm
started.
all set, Jane. Where you go?
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Carol Gilbert.
I'm Jane and Ron.
Where are you from, Carol?
Portland, right over the bridge from Middletown, Route 17. We have a small alpaca farm.
Oh,
And so
What's the name of the farm?
obviously, Double G alpaca. And this is this is a fleece from one of our alpacas.
This feels soft and
This
lovely.
is like cotton candy.
It is.
And basically, when I say fleece, we use fleece rather than wool because this comes from an alpaca as opposed to a sheep, and you can feel the difference in terms of the fiber. And the actual shaft of the hair is a little different because it's hollow on the inside, but the wakayas that we have tend to be crimpy hair.
Right.
Yeah. So it is different in just the constitution of the hair. And I happened upon this place through a friend of mine who actually taught me how to spin. And I just found it extremely relaxing, and it gave me something to do with all the hair. That we basically, if I may, shear off our alpacas once a year. Once a year before the heat of the summer, because heat stress tends to be something that they have more difficulty with than hypothermia, because if we all wore a coat like they wear, by the time winter comes around, we would be fine. We would be fine in any temperature.
Amazing.
So it's.
You make honey too? I noticed.
Actually, that's a neighbor apiary up the road from us. And I'm going to just segue real quick with you, if I may. At 12 o'clock, Walter Pond is going to speak about his local beekeeping that he does here in town. So
right over here?
You got it. So it's kind of a nice. So it's kind of a nice, entree to Walter. Yeah. But
this is pure honey from Mark's Apiaries in South Glastonbury.
Yeah. It's, I've had good luck with it, and I've become quite a user of honey, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
But again, I chose to go with the alpacas. I
So does when this is knitted into a sweater, can you wash it or does it shrink like wool?
What you'd have to do is hand wash, and then dry flat, when it's 100%. But if you're going to use alpaca, let's say for a sweater or something where there may be some stretch, considering again this is wakaya, so there is crimp to it and it will stretch. You really have to blend it with wool, to kind of back it up and give it more structure. So you don't end up from here down to your knees. In terms of
Oh, I see.
yeah. But with those, a lot of people come and they prefer, you know, they make a hat or a scarf so that, you know, it's fine for something like that. But that's all 100%. And if you look at the solid colors, you see the actual picture of the animal. Yeah. But they're very gentle animals. Do they spit? They can. Usually because they get frightened or they feel that, you know, they're defending themselves. But when you think about all the farm animals and what can cause injury, these animals basically are just very gentle souls.
Nice.
So what is the name?
It's double G.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double G.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go catch the beekeeping now.
Yeah, I think, I mean, this is really, you picked a good day.
Oh, it is.
Just because we do have some actual opportunities for people to pick up on, you know, something they may know nothing about.
Right.
True.
And he actually has a whole colony and the queen
Well, let's go
in
look.
it. Yeah.
Thanks.
So,
Very nice meeting you.
Between that one and that one, that was almost flat. That's worker bee. That one there is bullet shaped. It's raised. That there is all the drones. Those are the boy bees, and they lay only a few of the drones. They lay more workers. And then the queen, they only lay a queen when there's a problem with the queen, or they're swarming. If they're going to leave the colony to enlarge the colony, they'll make queen cells. And they do that normally around here in May and June, May, June, or July. Depending on how big your colony is, you'll have to worry about bees swarming on you. They will leave. This is a worker bee with a pollen sac on it, collecting full pollen of this flower, the pollen from this flower and or the nectar. So they got to go out and they got to bring this in. And see this cell up here? That is pollen that they put in to feed the eggs and the larvae. They have to feed them, and they call that bee bread. They fill that pollen into the cell and mix it with honey so that it doesn't spoil, and so that it makes a food for the babies. So that's what they need to start being a colony. And normal colony around here is either a 10 or an 8 colony hive, 10 frames. You have 10 of these frames in a box. This is a nucleus, this only has 5. And this is only 1 story. 2 stories are a full-size colony. So, hey Dave, you want to get that yellow jacket? So, you have different jobs for bees. When they first emerge from the cell, all they do is clean cells, and then they keep the brood warm. See how I told you they're clustering to keep the warm? That's their job. First thing they do when they come out after they've hatched is to go over there and keep them warm. And then after that, they can start feeding older larvae. Then they feed the younger larvae. This is the different ages here. And then they start producing wax. See how this is called foundation, the flat. See how it's starting to grow? They call it drawing out foundation. They have little, if you look on the bottom of some of these, you'll see these little white dots. Those are wax discs that they secrete from their wax glands. So they don't get to do that until they're 12 days old. They can revert back to it if there's a problem with the colony, but the younger ones are the ones that produce the most wax and build the colony. So you need young bees. And then you get guard bees. They're the ones that, when you come to the entrance of a hive, come out and greet you. And they aren't friendly when they come out to guard. So then after that, they start going out foraging. That means going out here to collect the pollen and the nectar.
the wild pure raw honey.
And after 35 to 45 days, the bees have exhausted themselves. They've worn their wings down. They can't fly
Sample honey from Pond's Honey Farm
So the next cycle
in Guilford.
The next cycle of bees
Wildflower
has a
pure
chance
raw
to
honey,
come out
delicious.
and take care of it. So that's what you get with the life of
recording now.
Hi, your name is?
Mark.
Mark, and I'm Jane.
Hi,
and this
Jane.
is Ron from GCTV.
I read Ron before.
Yeah, I bought a birdhouse from you and a stool from you last year at this
They're
time.
adorable. They're in front of the house.
I'll tell you what, they're still holding up. The birdhouse is
That's
active.
good.
You
And
love
the
them.
stool is still good.
Yeah, they're really nice. So what do you do, Mark, here? You're a painter?
I do,
And-
I do an expressionist type of artwork. That's what I do. That's what I like doing. And then I do the crafts as an additional thing to work for, help pay for the cost of taking care of the art supplies.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Plus, it's something I enjoy doing along with it.
So do you make these seashell boxes?
Yeah, there's some shells that I collected from the sound.
Right from the beach?
From the, down in North Haven, New Haven, West Haven, even Saybrook, Westbrook, all the shoreline towns, different beaches.
How much are these? Do these sell for?
These are 15.
15. Lovely boxes. You can do also. What I love is the bird houses. That's These are so adorable.
The natural bark on them.
Yeah, those are nice. Wow.
Very sturdy, very well made.
Making some bird feeders just for something additional.
Oh, that's adorable.
Time of year.
Birds actually go in them. Very limited. How much do these cost? On Landscape. Mark Weaver. Three.
Good, that's good to know. We'll, if you have an extra card, do you have an extra one?
Did you go?
Yeah.
I need these for
Did you see the chickens? They're beautiful. Lovely.
Chickens at home tower, right?
I have, this is what I have.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the yard is on the
What is this? Pumpkin. Oh, Dudley Farm gift shop. Well, here we are at the Dudley Farm gift shop, and they have all sorts of things. Quilts and pumpkins, and guess the weight of the pumpkin. $1 per guest. Hi. What's your name? You're eating. We caught her at the first bite.
Yeah.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah.
We were hiding from you.
Oh, you were? I'm sorry. Oh, I did. So I'm Jane, and this is Ron. Over your door.
We have a gentleman that does the caning for old chairs.
Oh.
If you have an old chair, he'll do the caning for it.
And what's his name?
I don't know.
Soul. It just says Soul.
I don't know if it's on the paper there.
A lot of nice items.
Yeah. Adorable dolls. Very unique dolls here. Pot holders
One
and all
lady
sorts of
that's
things.
in her 80s, in her late 80s, makes all the little sweater ornaments.
Mm-hmm.
Makes them in different.
Oh, isn't that adorable? Sweater ornaments, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
But it's like, this was the setup.
Yeah, it's today.
So, so it's just one of those things, sometimes when we go through that, so we visit the states, we don't feel like we need to charge from the moment we open the door to close it, and so most people an hour is usually coming, but we no longer, and so, so. Oh, okay, no, I can give you caterers.